What moment made it clear you weren't the favorite child? I realized it the night my parents missed my valedictorian speech because my brother forgot his guitar at a gig. I was 18, standing backstage in my cap and gown, watching rows of families crowd the auditorium. Every seat was filled with proud parents holding flowers, phones ready to record. I kept scanning the crowd for my mom's red scarf or dad's camera strap. They'd promised they'd be there early. They'd promised all week. My brother Caleb was 22, a musician. Not a successful one, but the kind everyone calls gifted to avoid saying unemployed. My parents built their lives around him, his rehearsals, his breakthrough opportunities, his fragile ego. That night, he had a small bar gig across town. Nothing new, but apparently he left his guitar at home. So 30 minutes before the ceremony, my mom called, "Sweetheart, we're running late. Caleb had a bit of a crisis, but we'll get there soon." I stood there, medal around my neck, and smiled like it didn't matter. The ceremony began. My name was announced as valedictorian. I gave my speech to a room full of clapping strangers. My parents' seats were empty. They arrived just as everyone was leaving. Mom hugged me, still breathless, and said, "You were amazing, right?" We heard from the hallway. Caleb grinned sheepishly behind her. "Sorry, kiddo. Mom said you'd understand." That was the moment I did, but it didn't start there. When I was 10, I wanted to take piano lessons. Mom said we couldn't afford 2 kids in music. Caleb's hands needed it more. When I was 12 and made it to regionals for science fair, Dad said we couldn't drive upstate that weekend because Caleb had a show. When I was 14 and got straight A's, they forgot to show up to awards night because Caleb wasn't in a good headspace. Every milestone of mine somehow collided with one of his meltdowns, and he always won. By 16, I stopped asking. I studied quietly, ate dinner alone, and became my own cheerleader. When I got accepted into my dream university on a full academic scholarship, I left the acceptance letter on the fridge for them to find. Mom's first reaction wasn't congratulations, it was, "But that's so far away. Caleb will miss you." My senior year, he moved back home to reset. Mom turned my room into his studio while I was at school. I slept on the couch for 3 months. "You'll be leaving soon anyway," she said. I graduated and left for college with 2 suitcases and no goodbye party. Caleb stayed behind, chasing dreams my parents financed with the money they couldn't spare for my dorm deposit. At first, I tried to stay close. Weekly calls, updates about classes. But every conversation turned into Caleb talk, his depression, his setbacks, his next chance. "You should be proud of him," Mom said once. "He's really trying." I stopped calling. 3 years later, I graduated early with honors and sent an invitation to my commencement. They didn't come. Caleb had a big performance. I found out later it was an open mic night at a coffee shop. Last month, Caleb called me for the first time in years. "Hey," he said, "Mom says you're doing well. Can I borrow 500? My car's in the shop. You know how much pressure I'm under." I laughed. "You still think I'm the one who has it together?" A pause. "You always were," he said. "You don't need help like I do." 2 days later, Mom called. "Sweetheart, your brother's really struggling. We were thinking, maybe you could come home for a while. Help him get back on his feet?" "Help him how?" I asked. "He's 30. You know how fragile he is," she said softly. "He just needs support." "What about me?" I asked. "I've been supporting myself since I was 18. She hesitated. "That's different. You've always been strong." I realized she didn't mean it as a compliment. Being strong was just their excuse to love me less loudly. I wasn't the favorite child. I was just the one who didn't need saving.